Welcome to our fourth episode of the Rockport Studio Tour live here in Rockport. We're so excited to have you here today, and we want to introduce our fourth featured guest, and that is Anita Diebel. Anita is inside Anita's picturesque waterfront studio located in downtown Rockport. The approach to life and art is often the same. It's go with the flow. So today, Anita's going to paint a landscape watercolor live and explain how her mantra of go with the flow got her through Harvey and still applies today. So thank you, Anita, for inviting us into your studio today. So she is outside right now, and they're walking in, and here they are.
Got to straighten the hair after the wind. Welcome to my studio in downtown Rockport. We're very lucky to have two working studios downtown, mine and Stan Irvin's Unique Clayworks. This is my studio. I spend more time here than at home, and it's lucky because this is a bigger space at home. I work in a variety of styles. These are some of my birds. I always go back to birds, but I paint a lot of different things. These are some little monoprints that I did that are related to birds. This is my latest piece, which is a painting over a painting. And I didn't like what's underneath it, so I often paint over things, and some of the imagery comes through and gives it more depth. This wall has a lot of one of my favorite subjects, the Rockport trees. I love to work in a variety of ways with the trees. In back of us here is a palm with a tern. This is done in acrylic as a watercolor. I work basically in watercolor and acrylic. The big floral was acrylic on canvas. This is an acrylic watercolor. There's a little collage here of just found papers, handmade papers, rice paper, and piece of an old painting. I work a lot with rice paper because I like the textures. This is a piece that shows a lot of texture, and I don't know if it'll show up on camera, but some pieces have really in-your-face texture. Others are just subtle because I like the quality it gives the paint.
Anita, could you bring that piece back to the camera just closely, please?
Bring the piece back to the camera.
Oh, sure.
And just like show the texture. Oh, you can, when you get all close, you can see that texture.
Yeah, it's really, and sometimes with the light, you can see it.
That's fascinating. Thank you.
Now that piece is rice paper that's been mounted on oh good, that shows the texture. That one is mounted on watercolor board, which is a lot like illustration board. I also work on it and mount it on panels because I don't like the quality, the slick surface on panels, so I'll put rice paper on them. This is one of my favorite places at Crane House, and it's out on the Lamar Peninsula. And this one is just watercolor on watercolor paper.
And for folks at home, Lamar Peninsula is part of Rockport, but it's just over the Copano Bay. And it's a beautiful place, has so much scenery, and a state park. Goose Island Park is up there.
Yeah. Yes, Goose Island State Park is one of the oldest state parks in Texas, I believe. Here's another piece with a lot of texture to it. I'll hold it up too. When I work this way, I always work on several pieces at a time because I often don't know where I'm going with them when I start. So I just start with torn pieces of rice paper And then when I apply the paint, different things comes out. Sometimes it's feathers, and this one became kind of a Southwest piece. Other times it will be something that will morph into seashells. This is one that's unfinished. It's got several layers, but I'll continue to work and bring out the shells in it. Oh, and there's always something on the back. So this is something new for me, this little sketch. And that is the sketch of the whooping crane. And this one is done on pastel. And I really enjoy painting with it that way. Along this wall are a variety of things that I just don't know if they're finished or not. I put things up and I study them. I might work on them more, or I might say, okay, that's done, and put it in a frame or put it in a bin to work on another time. This one is, these are all just studies. The two here were done when I did the trees out at Crane House in the early morning. I really loved the light on the water. It was backlighted and it was just beautiful. And so the whooping cranes go out there, and so I added to that one. This one is one of my favorite subjects, the Frio River. And if you look really closely, there was a bird in here, and I wiped him out. There's still enough of him there that I cannot leave it. So I'll put a bird back in, but I'll put him back into where I like him more. But I love rocks and trees and nature. Everything I do has, even my abstracts kind of have a organic quality to them. This is fun. This is a paper called UPO. And I'm going to run and get something to show you what you can do with UPO.
Great. While she's running, hey, Tammy, can you ask her, how long has she been painting?
How long have you been painting?
I have been painting all my life. I was very fortunate. I grew up in a creative household. My father was a chiropractor by vocation, but he painted, sang, and danced. And I was drawing and painting before I went to first grade. And then in first grade, I won an art contest, and that kind of solidified it. I liked that confirmation, and I went on and went to 1 year of college, dropped out and went to art school, and I haven't looked back. So I've always painted and cannot imagine not painting. But this is UPO. It's a plastic. It's a paper that's almost plastic. You never know what it's going to do, but you can also take whatever you're doing, if you don't like it, and wipe it out and start all over again.
Anita, a quick question from the audience. Could you tell us again the type of paper it is? Help me spell it.
It's called UPO, Y-U-P-O, and it's really fun. And so I can wipe it out and then paint back into it. I just have right now the water and pigment I'm squeezing out. But that's what I love about watercolor. It's very, very versatile, and you can do a lot of things with it. These are just watercolor sketches of the whooping cranes. When you're doing something in action, you have to be very quick. Watercolor really works for that. Nests are another subject matter that has evolved from birds. To me, the nest is an eternal symbol. It's circular, and life is a circle. And so it comes into my work a lot, whether it's realistic or abstract. And then this one up here is my take on the rookery. And this is a giclée print on canvas. And it's everybody here loves our rookery, and I'm so proud of our city for protecting it. And this is one of
Anita, could you explain to the folks at home what the rookery is, or for folks who want to come to Rockport?
The rookery is a group of the live oaks right along Little Bay, which is a shallow waterway right downtown Rockport, just to the north. And it is a place where hundreds and hundreds of birds nest every spring. They start, I think, in late January and February building the nest. The birds are that nest there are the great blue heron. Let's turn on this wall. We'll see the great blue heron and the white egret. These two nests there. The roseate spoonbill, the night heron. I think there's 5 or 6 different types, and you can just drive by there and watch them. They're fun. What's really fun, and what I've learned from my photographer friends, is they vie each other for nesting materials, and they will steal sticks from other nests. After the hurricane, the area was cleaned up, and it was found that it was too clean. So the city had to come and dump sticks because there's so many herons and egrets and spoonbills that want to nest there. Then this one is the tricolor heron. He nests on the ground, and you can find him at the beach park. And they're really, they're a smaller egret, but they're really, really fun. And then this one over here is a new series I'm doing on tropical Texas birds. And here again, you'll see the texture, because this is rice paper that has been applied to a panel. And so this is the green jay and a native red banana. And so it's fun to work that way. And we have we're really fortunate to live and love our semi-tropical paradise, and we have lots of birds here and lots of different things that nature offers. So I think
wonderful.
I have a question.
I'm going to show you one of the favorite things about my studio, and that is that I'm on the very edge of the harbor. And if you look out there, if you can zoom in a little bit, yeah, you'll see the water right outside my door. And when I'm working in watercolor, I work flat here on the drawing board. And I've been working and look out there and see dolphins playing or a shrimp boat coming in. The other day, it was kids in 2 little sunfish sailboats. I love this space because it's, although it's in the downtown area, it's still surrounded by nature.
Anita, there's a question. Sure. How do you seal your paintings?
How do I
seal them?
Seal them. With watercolor, anything with paper either has to be framed under glass or sealed. And sealing watercolor is relatively new. I seal it first with a UV spray, and I'll do like 3 or 4 coats of that. And then I like to come back with an acrylic polymer varnish. And again, it's a UV protective. And now you can protect your paintings and not have to have them under glass. These were, I'm trying to think. Okay, this one is not sealed. This one is sealed. And you can see a little difference. I like a glossy finish. And this is the reason I can tell it's not sealed is it's still on, it still has that matte look. You can get a matte glaze to finish them with, but to me, just a little bit of sheen really helps it come out.
That's great. And I know, Anita, you're about to start a demo for us, but before we do, I need to take a moment to thank our sponsors.
Great.
So,
I'll get
just
ready.
give me one moment here. I'll share my screen. So, the Rockport Studio Tour Live and the in-person event is presented by First Community Bank. And First Community Bank here in Rockport. The future of banking has arrived in the Coastal Bend with a new debut of their interactive teller machines. And so you can do everything with this. You can speak to a teller, you can cash checks and make deposits. You can make cash withdrawals up to $2,500, and you can also make loan payments and balance inquiries, all without speaking to a person directly. So in this day and age, that's fantastic. Next, I would like to make sure that all of our cast has the opportunity to introduce themselves. So I'm gonna release my screen here in just a moment. And Doc, I would like to hand the meeting over to you, if you would, please.
All right. Yeah, sure. Let's unmute everybody, and then we can unshare, and then everybody's live now. And hi, everybody doing? I'm Doc Roberts. I'm a glass blower, flame worker here in Rockport, Texas. And we're going to go to a different view here, the gallery view, so I can see everybody. Hi, everybody. How you guys doing?
Great, thank you.
Good, good. I'm going to introduce everybody. Starting to my right here, I got Sarah Morrison. Hi, Sarah. How you doing?
Hi, Doc. I'm doing great.
Good, good deal. And what do you do?
I'm a big supporter of the Rockport Center for the Arts. This year,
Great.
I am co-chairing the studio tour live with Gene Giese. And we are very happy to be doing this.
All right, I'm gonna mute
Good.
everyone real quick. Hold on.
Yep.
All right, unmute Doc. And Doc, who's the next person we want to talk to? I'll unmute them.
And then the next person, well, we've already met her she's been doing all the painting stuff. Anita Diebel. How you doing?
And now we're on to Elsa. Hi, Elsa.
Hello, everybody. I'm just here enjoying the afternoon and getting a big thrill out of seeing Anita work. And I'll be inviting you to my studio next week. So good luck.
Yeah.
All
Oh,
right.
it's gonna be wonderful.
Right
Next-
on. Good deal.
Next, we have Juliana Fuller.
Yeah.
Hi, Juliana. Juliana is the youngest artist on the studio tour. She is a student at TAM-UCC in Corpus Christi, just up the road.
Yes,
And what is your medium, Juliana?
So I do mostly textile work, but I've also been real interested lately in doing metal work as well. So kind of.
Well, fantastic. And Juliana is going to be our featured artist on May 26th. Next.
Next, we got Michael Covian. How you doing, Michael?
Good.
Good.
I'm a woodworker, and I do things with. I like to work with burls and spalted woods. Here's a piece of a piece I made that is a menu board. It's made out of maple burl, and it has a unique back, which is the burling.
Wow, that's gnarly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Bring that close.
the back.
Yeah. You
Okay,
can really
yeah.
see the burl on the back.
Yeah. So, but you can see the
The front,
inner
you can see some.
Yeah, it's got a magnet. to hold
Yeah,
on.
so that's for your recipes for when you're in the
Right.
kitchen. You can sit and you can put your recipe there and make a mess and it won't fall over.
Yep.
I do other like I make some clocks and stuff like that out of mesquite, and I like to work with the unusual woods like the maple, the burls, and the spalted woods.
Great. And Michael
Okay,
will
right
be a
on.
featured artist in September.
All right. Next on the list, we got Diane Johnson. Hi, Diane. How you doing?
Oh, no, we skipped over. Hold on, Diane.
We skipped over
Go back to Robin.
Robin. Okay. You probably see a different view than I get,
Maybe.
but that's all right. All right. So we got Robin Hazard. Go ahead, Robin.
Yeah, hi, how are y'all doing? I'm
Good.
a pastel artist, oil painter, mostly abstract landscapes. So I'm in a good place.
Good deal. And then where do you want to
Now
go?
Diane Johnson.
Now Diane Johnson. All right. Yeah, it's different on my screen. That's all right. Hi, Diane. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. I'm Diane Johnson. I'm working in my studio today as I watch Anita paint, but I work in the studio most of the time, and I'm making a pair of cactus earrings as we speak. So
Ooh,
yeah, they'll be
silver.
sale pretty soon. Yeah.
Right on, right on.
Fantastic.
All right. The next person I have on my screen would be Jean.
That's
Jean,
right.
hi, how you doing, Jean?
Hi. I'm on the board of the Rockport Center for the Arts and chairing this wonderful event that we put together so successfully.
Yes.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, Sarah and Jean have really been a big support on the administrative back end planning end for me. They've really helped bring people aboard and helped us push through this virtual opportunity. So thank you, ladies. We really appreciate all your hard work.
Yes, thank you. Next person we got on here, I have Tina. How you doing?
Hi, I'm great. I am here in my studio as well. I'm watching Anita, and I love seeing Anita. I love her energy. I want her energy. But I'm working today on a little sculptured hummingbird. I've been sculpting it in silver.
What are you going to do with that?
I'm not sure yet. An earring, or I don't know. But
Right
it's
on.
all silver, sterling.
Yeah, right
beautiful.
on.
And Tina's a part of our Silver Meltdown November fundraiser. It's an amazing fashion show experience. So make sure you keep following us. We'll tell you more. Several of our artists are part of that. Now we'll go on to the next artist.
I see Barbara Sparkman. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Good.
I'm an abstract artist. I work in oil and cold wax, and this is an example. And I also do abstract watercolors. So this is an example of a watercolor. And
oh my gosh. And Barbara has so many pieces. She's like, I looked around her studio and it's like, where's the artwork? She goes, oh, I have plenty. And she opened some portfolios and it was just stuff. It was amazing. Can't wait to have the tour and have people visit your studio.
Good deal. Next I see Stan on my screen next.
Yep.
All right. Good deal. Hi, Stan. How you doing?
I'm good. Happy to be here today. I'm a potter, clay artist in downtown Rockport, not too far from Anita's studio.
Yeah, and Stan will be our featured guest on May 12th, the second week in May, right after Elsa. So we'll get to see some pottery then.
Right on, right on. Next, I have Dania. How you doing?
Hi, I'm good. I'm not in my studio today because I'm working on photographs.
Yes, they were very helpful. Yes, part of our initiative here at the Rockport Studio Tour is to have an online section, an online gallery where you can purchase our artists' work. Danya has been able to submit some very good photography for me today. So we will be working on putting her pieces, a few of her pieces of jewelry up online for sale. And we are slowly working on populating that gallery. So thank you so much, Danya, for all your hard work.
You're welcome.
Today.
They are up. I checked. Elena showed me.
Wow, Elena's done it. Thank you, Elena. Shout out to Elena.
Pictures of some earrings that I'm listing also.
Great. So I will put in the comments section of the video after we record some link to our online gallery so you can start seeing that. And as more and more of our artists are able to get added to it, you can definitely support the center and support your local artists by making a purchase through our online gallery.
Right
All
on,
right,
right on.
let's go next.
And then the next person I show here is Markwood.
Oh, that's actually Vivian.
Vivian, okay.
Vivian, yeah, I need to rename her.
Yep. Hi, Vivian. How you doing?
I don't know. I can't hear anybody, but I'm Vivian, and I'm a potter.
And you're a potter, right on.
Yeah, Vivian makes some amazing works out of ceramics. She's making these handcrafted books where they have ceramic covers, and they are just so beautiful. Some of them have some gold inlay. So when you are able to visit, Vivian will be at Elsa Matthews' studio, and she'll have a bunch of her work there. It's beautiful work. And we go on to another potter.
Yep,
our interloper from Victoria is Deborah Chronister. She's a great friend of the center and of the arts. So Deborah, what's going on with you?
Hi there. I'm still wrapping up the semester of turning multiple classes into online classes all of a sudden. So most of my time is still with schoolwork. However, I did give myself an assignment in this time where we are all closed up to make some closed forms. And so this is still a little bit damp clay that I'll be altering and doing something with. I don't know yet.
Oh my gosh, show us how it goes when as it progresses. Maybe show us an update in a little
Sure
bit.
thing. That
Sounds
sounds great.
fantastic. Great.
Right
And
on.
Deborah is a professor of art up at Victoria College, and that's why she's spending a bit of her time also converting to the virtual world. But she's also another great potter. Fantastic. And that's it for artist roll call.
Yeah.
Now I just want to thank one more sponsor. So I'm going to share my screen one more time. And that is Prosperity Bank. Prosperity Bank is a great supporter of the arts and a proud supporter of the Rockport Center for the Arts and many of our events. So thank you so much to Prosperity Bank for helping us out today. And with that, I'd like to go on to our demo. So let's go back to speaker view and Anita, take it away.
Well, first we're going to talk about my giveaway. This is a giclée of my original sketches. I have a hummingbird print. And
can you go in closer?
These were part of it.
Oh, that's great. So are you giving the one away that's framed?
The little framed one they're small, as hummingbirds are.
Oh
So
my goodness. And folks in the audience, this would make a wonderful Mother's Day gift coming up. Just a little thing. And this is a giveaway, but these are giclées. So Anita has more of these for sale. If you don't happen to win the giveaway and would like a copy or a print, we will make sure that you have the ability to connect with her and do so. And again, I'll put a link in our comment section of the video. Oh, Anita, thank you so much. That's beautiful. I'm sure there's gonna be someone who's super lucky to take that home today.
Well, my demo is listed really as a landscape, but I'm doing more of a nature study. And I'm just going to sketch in real quick a little egret or heron. I think it'll be a white egret. And I'm just going to put in a very loose, oh good, there's some legs. Just a very loose drawing of this. I leave my pencil marks on my page. What I'm doing now, and I don't know if it's really going to show up, maybe I'll tint it a little bit and you can see. I am going to wet the background because this is going to be a watercolor that's called Wet in Wet. And in order to do so, I wet all of the background. And what's wonderful about watercolor is if I do not want it, if I want this bird to remain white, I just will not get him wet. And I can work on the background and then come back in and get that little bird in later. I can also correct should I have some issues with his form. I think he's kind of squatty, so I'll try to elongate him. This is just, most of my work is my interpretation of what I'm looking at. I don't try to do a picture perfect thing. My work just evolves and I just see what I want to see. It now, this question, the magic of watercolor. You can just come in and let it flow. And
hey, Anita, we have a question from our cast, Danya. Go ahead, Danya.
Anita, do you do a lot of your paintings just from your imagination or what you've seen, or do you work from pictures?
I do all. I love to work on location, but I do that. Of course, now I'm doing less than ever, but often it will just be something I see and it is my memory of it rather than a working from a photograph. I love to just get the impression of something. And I find if you work from photographs too much as a painter, then you really stifle yourself. It's a good tool, but it can really come back and bite you. So I really encourage people, and I encourage my classes, that I have an ongoing Monday watercolor class, and I may be adding another day here to my classes. And so I've got kind of fall colors in here. I don't know why. This is my impression of the marshes. So let's get some greens in there because it's summertime. So although I love the golds, I'm just going to come in and get some of these. I'm going to switch brushes. This is a brush. It's called a 1-inch flat, and it's my favorite brush. I have 3 brushes that I asked my class to use. This is the flat, this is a round, and this is a rigger or liner. And if you have those 3 brushes, you can do anything with them. You do not have to have a lot of different brushes. In fact, when I was in my 1 year of college, I was allowed to paint with this brush only. And so it really taught me that you can do a lot with out a lot of materials. So this brush will make a flat. You can do a wash with it, or you can come in and get a very fine line with it. And so I've got kind of brown and greens. So I want to get more green over in this area. And what I want to do is kind of get it darker. Now I've got a glob, and that's because I didn't come down to my palette and work it out. But since I'm not doing anything that's really, really tedious today, I can do it. So this is just going to be mainly the marsh grasses, the reeds, and I want it to be darker on the edges and get lighter as I come to him. This may be a problem because he's a white bird. So I do have to have some color in him. And so I've kind of outlined him, but I really like that light coming in there, because one thing I try not to do is make my work like a cookie cutter. I don't want to cut out shape there. I want a shape that's, all right, I don't like his neck. I'm gonna come in here and change it. Let's change. Okay, I went too far. So you'll learn the other fun thing about watercolor. This wing is gonna have to come out a little more. So I'm gonna pull it out. He's looking more like a pelican than I may just change it and put a pelican in. But one thing that I love about watercolor is the fact that you can lift it. I don't know if you see right there, I have a puddle of watercolor. When that happens and I want it to go away, I just let it warp up into a cloth or something. I think I'll switch brushes now and see if I can get a better understanding of this bird. So we'll get his, there we go. Now we got the long neck in, and I can make this wing just go flatter, and then this wing will go up. So I'm just going to, by the way, this piece will be available at the studio tour, and it's going to be raffled at the tour. so that you can, and not only will it be raffled at the tour, it'll be raffled to kind for the benefit of the Art Center, because although we as individual artists are suffering right now with all the downturn, our Art Center is breaking their neck to help us. And we want to, in turn, as artists, support them so that we can keep this going for all of us. So when the tour
just to let you know, we don't raffle, we have drawings or giveaways. Just like, I'm going to specify that. So just let everyone know out there, because raffles are not legal in Texas. So we are doing drawings and giveaways.
We are doing drawings and giveaways, of course. So this will be a drawing for a drawing. Okay, I want to get a little.
Anita, I have a question.
Sure.
Do you ever tape down your watercolor paper to prevent?
I do. I do, but I often like to paint to the edge. And I find out that if I really, as you can see, it's buckling on me now, but I can get that out. I've even been known to iron it afterwards. But you can, if your watercolor is buckled, you can come in and change that. You can come in and weight it. You put a piece of plexiglass on it, and then you come in and do the weight, and it will take all of that out. The other thing I love to do is, and to me it's part of nature, is to flip into my watercolors. And this is called splatter or flipping. I can also flip water, and that removes it makes the water into the wet paper. The wet pigment will diffuse it. I have an area up there that is thicker than I want, so I am going to diffuse it a lot just with water. And then I'm going to let it run down.
Anita, we have a question from the audience.
Sure. Okay.
The question is, if someone wants to join your classes that you're offering through Zoom right now, how would they go about doing that?
Just contact me. I'm on I have a
Facebook. There we go. Thank you. Thanks, Kimmy.
I have a Facebook page, or you can call me or text me. And I think I can get a link to you through here. Is that right?
Yes, I would be happy to share your contact information in the comments section of the video tomorrow when it's posted to our channel.
Okay, I'm going to get a little definition, not a lot right now, into this bird, but I want to just, because I can't do a lot because he's wet, and especially since I lifted out here. But I can at least get some definition. He's going to be backlighted, which is one of my favorite ways to paint because it's very dramatic. And what you have is your lights. Oh, look how it's running in. Normally I'd love that, but I don't want it right now. So, but I do want to get a little more color in here. So whites have a lot of color. And I think one of the things most beginning artists do is not put enough color in their whites. And I didn't truly backlight him. He's just somewhat backlit. But as artists, you do what works. I'm not a purist. I do whatever works to make the painting work. And so I'm going to soften that a little bit. I am going to try to find, there's one of my favorite tools. Hold on. I hope you don't get the back shot.
I'm not.
I'm bending over.
I'm not.
All right, one of the things, this is a credit card. And one of the things, I'm going to bring out a wing here by just lifting out with the, it's not going to cooperate today. Let's see if this one will. Probably because I've got stuff on this card. There, you can see how I can lift out a little bit. And I might even lift out the legs. Okay, that's too far. We'll just get it. There'll be another leg here. And I'm going to use the credit card to kind of just suggest the legs. Because the legs on these water birds are very important. You see, this is running back in. I have to keep controlling it or it'll take over. But watercolor is very, very forgiving. And if you don't panic, and I might panic in a minute because this isn't doing what I want it to do. But if you keep working with it.
Go with the flow, Anita, go with the flow.
Yes, definitely. You have to if you're doing a demo live. But I've been known, one of my best demos ever was, I'm gonna have to alter, well, maybe that will work. One of my best demos ever just didn't. I was doing it for a big art group in Fort Worth and it just didn't work out. So I said, okay, what happens? I have the other side to paint on. That's wonder of watercolor. But sometimes it just doesn't work and I tore it up. And I still have people telling me that was the best demo because they realized everybody makes mistakes. And this is not a precious thing. Tear it up and start over again. Now, this one is not that bad. I won't be tearing it up, but I will be doing more work to bring it to a better place than it is. But it's one of my favorite ways to work, wet and wet, and just see where the color takes you and the shades. There, we're lifting. So I've lifted out a line there.
We're not here, can't really hear you.
I think we lost her. Okay.
Oh, okay. I said what I'm doing is lifting, and you do that with a damp brush. I take all the water out of my brush, and then what I'm doing is picking up the surface of the paint and making it different, lifting out the color. Here, I accidentally mirrored my shape, and I try not to do that. So I'm going to change that by bringing this reed down. All right, got to look at my edges. I've just been involved with the center. This will be a vignette, which means it's going to not touch all the edges. But I want to have a good.
There's a question, Anita.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Anita, this is Stan. I was curious what you meant about that reed mirroring the shape.
He's curious about what you meant about the reed mirroring the other reed.
Okay, all because our normal actions as artists, we tend to make the same motion, and I try not to have two reeds be exactly the same.
Oh, I see.
As you see, that one was coming and this one was coming in the like manner. So by twisting that one down,
Sure.
I can change the trajectory a little bit. Maybe that's word. I'm going to make this one a little stronger. And so that's it. I need some more light in here. So I'm just going to lift out some lights, like lights coming through the reeds. I love the marsh grasses And I love the different textures in them and the different lights and the different time of day. You find a very different feeling. All right, let's see if we can get a beak on this bird. And because it's dark, a lot of these birds, especially during mating season, will get darker as the beak continues into the face. And I'll just use that to come back and create this semblance of an eye. And I will probably put, let's see if I can do it now, just a little darker. Oh, come on. Let's try a good dark. A little darker right in there. I don't want to have a really spelled out eye because this isn't.
We're losing your voice again.
Oh, okay. This is just.
Still can't hear ya.
Oh, don't know why.
Now we can.
Okay, good. I don't know why I didn't do this a pelican because he didn't even get a horn on his little beak. Okay, let's get a little more definition under this wing. And again, I'm going with wet so that I can, I don't like my work to, like I said, stand out too much. I want the bird to be in the painting, not on the painting. And so by getting him back into his environment, I can, okay, let's get a little shadow across his body. We haven't addressed the tail at all. And you notice I'm doing all of this with that 1-inch brush. It's amazing what it will do. I will have to, I think I have my knees backward on my bird. I am going to come in and change to a, I think this is stamp enough that I can go ahead and try to get a foot in there. And this one. That will help establish that. When my beak is too wet, but I probably will not have a white beak on him, but rather have a dark beak. And that some of the birds do. And I'm not really, that's much better. Now I'm going to switch back to my flat brush and get some. I often turn my paper to make it easier to work. And that way I get a little highlight in there. I can straighten it out a little bit later when it's absolutely dry and I don't have to worry about the this running. I could get more. I will also lift out, these legs are pretty dark for the others. I want to get this wing coming out more. And there is another way. I may be wet and I'm taking a chance, but there's little things called scrubbers that you can come in here and actually scrub out the color. You should do it while it's dry, but you could see how I can, if my one brush doesn't work, I'll just scrub that out to where I get the wing a little more like I want it. I want him graceful. So this is just a real firm little brush that doesn't hurt the paper, but will lift off the color. I will probably have to do this again when it's dry in order to get it. I like the way that this wing has kind of disappeared. I like that it's not perfect, but these I probably should leave because they're too wet to work on right now. Let's see what we can do with. There's certain colors that will stand up on top in watercolor. So I'm going to see if I can't get a little interest in here with just a little flipping. Now, he's not very.
Are you just splattering right there? Is that what you were doing?
Splattering. I'm just throwing paint, which is one of my favorite things to do. But I also see that I have a rather, I'd like this to be a little bit more, not so roughed edge. I don't mind roughed edges in some things, and I don't mind it on his wings, but I do mind it on, oh, good. I love the way that ran.
Anita, we have another question from the audience.
Okay.
So Judith Hines is asking, she has a 1-inch brush. What are the other sizes of the other 2 brushes you're using?
Okay, gosh. All right, this one, my round, where is my round? I think it's a 12. So a 12 and is a large brush. And then if you are more comfortable, you can also get a 6. So those are my 3 brushes. You can do with 2, but sometimes it's nice to have a little one. And then that's the rigger. So, oh, we haven't shown what the rigger will really do. Oh, it's fun. Let's take it here. Oops, didn't have. The reason that it's scattered is because I didn't have enough pigment in it. So we'll try it again. And really have to load the brushes. That's why they're made for watercolor, because they'll really take a lot of paint. And so I like, I think I'll get some different shades of these reeds in there. And I like to, a lot of people sit to paint. If you're going to be doing something with a rigger, I always encourage you to stand. If you are sitting, you're only using the motion of your hand. If you are standing, use the motion of your whole arm, which gives you a much more graceful there.
Anita, you've been doing this for a long time, painting. So it seems that you paint by intuition. How do you know when you need to stop?
I need to stop now.
Oh, that's perfect timing. Perfect timing, Anita.
I often, I think going too far is the major mistake of painters. And we all, I like what's happening in there. So I'll do a little more of it, where I let the water actually play. And I like where it breaks this little part up. So I don't know what it's going to be until it's dry. And this will probably be dry by June. So much paint on it. But yes, I do paint a lot intuitively. And but I also do things. I really was torn today because if you get that shot outside the window, I love those 2 palms over there. And I almost switched gears and painted them. But, anyways, this is as far as I'm going on it today, because it's really too wet to go any further.
Great. Well, before we go into your giveaway, I need to go ahead and thank a few more sponsors.
Okay.
So I'm going to share my screen another time. And We definitely want to thank our sign sponsor for the tour, Karen Mella. Karen Mella Realtor, get it noticed, get it sold. And as your realtor, whether you are selling or buying a home, she pledges to place your interests above all others. You can depend on her honesty, integrity, and trustworthiness. So, and we can definitely guarantee that because Karen Mella has been working with us. She's a lifetime benefactor and a longtime supporter of the Rockport Center for the Arts. And we are really grateful to have you on board. Thank you so much, Karen. And so now we're going to go into the giveaway aspect of this. I'm going to turn it over to Doc. Doc will get us started on how you can win this gorgeous piece by Anita Diebel.
Right on. Thanks, Carol. As soon as you unshare your screen, we'll go ahead and share mine, and we'll get right to the random number there. Let's see. We'll share mine here and share. And there we go. Right on. All right, here we go. That's not the number, everybody, just so you guys know. A random generator. I'm going to go ahead and click the generate button, but we're going to give you guys a couple seconds here, about 30 seconds or so, to start typing some numbers in there. I think we have, how many people are in the chat right now? Let's take a look here. We have 61 people watching, so we're going to go with 75 again, and we will pick a number between 1 through 75, and then one with the person that is the closest will get that item that she's going to give away.
So just right now, everyone just go ahead and put your number, pick a number 1 through 67 into the YouTube chat window.
1 through 75.
Oh, sorry, 1 through 75. 1 through 75.
67 is not the number, though.
Sorry, 67
right.
is not the number. And the winner will receive one of those amazing prints by Anita Diebel. It's a great Mother's Day gift. It'll be a wonderful time. So with that being said, are we getting numbers into the screen?
I think so. It looks like, yeah, we got quite a few already. We'll go back to the random generator there. If you guys would go ahead and subscribe to our page, it's just right to the bottom there on the right-hand corner of the YouTube page. Just hit that subscribe button. You guys will be automatically notified when we go live every week on Tuesday at 4 p.m. Also, I'd just like to thank everybody for joining us, and we're going to get right to this random generator thing. I'm going to go ahead and pick that number. Has everybody got their numbers in? We're ready to go. All right. And the lucky number is 51. Who's number 51?
All right, we have a 54. We have a 48. As we're going, I think 54 and 48. All right, which one's closer?
They're about the same. Well, we've never had that one happen before.
I say we go with 48 because it's
under
Price is Right rules.
Price is Right rules. All right, that sounds like a good idea. All right, so
share
number
your
48.
Screen, please.
Unshare. There we go.
Wonderful. So with that, I just want to let folks know that next, also this week, we have some great virtual programming going on in the virtual world. On Facebook, on Thursday, we have Richie Rios, who's going to be doing a Paint With Me, an Art With Me live stream. And so everyone can tune in for free on Facebook and enjoy this demonstration. And then afterwards, whatever you create during the class, you can post on the critique wall on our YouTube page. And then finally, you can wrap up the day on Friday with the Rockport Center for the Arts Happy Hour. And the happy hour takes place with our curator, Elena Rodriguez, and she's going to have Ryan O'Malley and Cassie Normandy on this week. They're printmakers from Corpus Christi. It's going to be a great show. So as a great thing, we're only here because our sponsors.
I understand there was a 49.
Yes, there was a 49. Well, the 49 wins. Let's go. We'll take a
tell them how to get that?
There was a 49. We'll double check, and number 49 will be the winner.
It was
we also
Vicky
want to thank
Trotton.
Tito's Vodka, Ace Hardware, our local Ace Hardware, right here in in Rockport. Windway Gallery, our neighbors in the Art Loop, just down the road. And Coastline Custom Homes. They're all big supporters of our Rockport studio tour. It's virtual version as well as its in-person version. So we want to make sure all of our sponsors know what's going on. So we have number 49 is the winner. Thank you, Stan, for the correction.
Yep.
And next week, I just want everyone to know that our guest will be Elsa Lopez Matthews. It's going to be Cinco de Mayo. So break out the margaritas, the tequila, or just the Mexican Coca-Cola, whatever you choose. It's all for you. And we'll be here next week at 4 o'clock with Elsa Matthews. So I will post in the comment sections ways to go to our online gallery, as well as ways for us to, for you all to sign up or get in touch with Anita. If you really like one of those prints or the paintings she made today, or you want to take one of her classes, please reach out to her. And from all of us here in Rockport, in the Rockport Studio Tour, we want to say thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
So, yeah, number 49 is the